Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. I used to be a big fan of Pamela Anderson. This is shocking. This is the new Hollywood flex. You don't like a guy, you just say that he likes men and you hope that it goes viral. I won't even mess with McDonald's like that. What the heck is a snack wrap? Diddy's family knows that he ain't getting up for a long time, so the fight over his money begins. What up? It's Trent Out Loud and I'm back with another episode. All right, my favorite day of the week is finally here. It's Friday and I'm in a great mood. I can't wait to kick off my weekend. All right, before I kick off my weekend, I have a great show set up for you guys. We got 3 lead stories. We're going to talk to you about the ongoing investigation going on with the CEO of UnitedHealthcare. We're also going to discuss the words that they found on the casings. We also have in lead stories, Diddy's mom and sons are fighting over control for his money. In quick news, we're going to talk Pamela Anderson, Flavor Flav, McDonald's bringing back the snack wrap, Toronto having their first WNBA team, Jamie Foxx, Young Miami, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, and Busta Rhymes. As always, we're going to close out the show with question of the day and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. Our first lead story. UnitedHealthcare CEO was under investigation by the Department of Justice for insider trading before he was unalived. All right, we have 2 parts to this story. I'm going to tell you guys the latest what's going on with the investigation in part 2. But part 1, I wanted to talk about something that a lot of people are not making too much news about, but I wanted to inform you because a lot of people don't know that he was under investigation, and that could be one of the reasons why he had that attack a couple of days ago. All right. Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was reportedly investigated by the Department of Justice for insider trading when he was unalived in New York City. On February the 16th, Thompson reviewed stock options and sold shares worth $15.1 million just days before the DOJ announced its investigation of UnitedHealthcare acquisitions. This investigation focused on whether these deals unlawfully consolidated the company's market dominance, potentially violating antitrust laws. The year 2024 has been quite turbulent for UnitedHealthcare as it expected one of the largest healthcare data breaches in U.S. history. This breach exposed sensitive data for 1/3 of America's population and forced the company to pay a ransom of $22 million to hackers, as reported by the New York Post. Thompson was unalived as a targeted attack outside the Hilton Hotel in Manhattan on Wednesday. Authorities reported that the person who did this approached Thompson outside the hotel, and he was at close range, and then he fled to Central Park. The subject is still at large, and police are actively searching for him. Thompson's wife disclosed that he has been receiving threats prior to this incident, but the motive of what happened is still unclear. New York Business reports that Thompson's stock sales were the first since he became CEO of the insurance division in 2021. The timing of these transactions, along with similar sales by other executives totaling $101.5 million, is attracting scrutiny. The company also suffered a financial fallout of $705 million from the data breach, leading to facing more significant challenges along with Thompson's unaliving. So a lot going on in there. Money, insider trading. How come he sold off his shares? What was going on with the hackers? What was going on with, the payoff? Once you start talking about these large amounts of money, you're not talking about $1 million, $2 million. You're talking about close to $100 million. Then the stock falls $700 million. That's a lot of money and things going on. We don't know for sure if this is the reason for the incident happening. But like I said, I wanted to just bring this piece of news to you because now that the investigation is going on, of course, people are more focused on the investigation and once they capture, or if they capture, then a lot more things will be coming out. So we're going to talk about now the investigation in part 2. Our second lead story, casings marked with deny, defend, depose recovered from the scene of UnitedHealthcare CEO. All right. The casings that an unidentified person used in the unaliving of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson on Wednesday morning had words written on them, and that was confirmed by CBS News. The words deny, defend, and depose appeared on the casings recovered from the scene that happened in New York City from law enforcement. The officials say they are examining whether the words relate to a possible motive involving insurance companies and their response to claims. ABC News was the first to report this information. I'll tell you guys first about those 3 words. Those 3 words are apparently something that's used in the insurance world, and by people saying that that's why the insurance companies no longer want to, give them out money. And people are saying that they just deny, defend, and depose. And that's the way that insurance companies get out of not having to pay. So that, along with a couple of other things I'm about to tell you, is why people think that this person was maybe acting out of revenge and acting solo, and it wasn't anything larger. That could be why people are not really talking about this insider trading. Don't want to confuse you, but when it first happened, people thought it was this big inside job. Now people are thinking this might be somebody who just didn't get his money from a claim, especially with what the words that they found on these casings. All right. So they have found out that he was staying at a hostel. Okay. And he was wearing a mask pretty much the entire time. And this was prior to the incident. So this happened on Wednesday. I think they're saying that they found out he was staying at the hospital 2 or 3 days before the incident. So Sunday to Tuesday. People at the hostel that he was at said that he had on a mask the entire time. Even when he was in the room and he was sleeping, he kept his mask on. He was sharing a room with 4 beds. There was 2 other men and 1 empty room. So he was in a room with 2 other men. Police have investigated and spoke with those 2 men and said he had a mask on the entire time. Why that alone should not be a call for action, that's, pretty clear. But I guess it's New York City hostel. I'm sure you see weird things happening in there. I'm going to put up a picture. There is one picture at the front desk of this hostel that the police have released to media outlets, and I'll tell you why they have released that. But they have one picture. It is not a dead on right picture. We can't see his eyes, but now you can see his face, his nose, and his mouth. Okay. The thing that he used to unalive this guy, they're saying that it jammed when he during the incident. Sorry, there's certain words I can't say. You guys know that by now. And they were saying that it jammed, all right? And this is what I found that was really important. They were saying the fact when it jammed, the way how he reacted to the jamming, they don't think that he was an expert or that he was somebody who was hired and he does this for a living. Not saying that he was an amateur, but an expert was saying that he is somewhat familiar, but he is definitely not an expert. Again, that leads more to the fact of it being an individual who maybe had a claim and that wants to get back at this CEO. And if any of you have seen the video, which I'm not going to play, but you could see that it jams and he doesn't really know what to do, and he's hitting it, and then he discharges one of the things, and it discharges and it falls on the ground, and then he gets back to doing whatever he was doing, and then 3 or 4 more come out. But the fact that he didn't really know how to handle himself is leading the investigators to believe that he wasn't an expert at doing this, okay? They're saying that he dropped a bottle of water and a phone at the scene, and they might have partial prints on that bottle. Calling me a conspiracy theorist, I think if you're doing something like this and you're dropping a water bottle and you're dropping your phone, I think he dropped that on purpose, to be honest with you. I think that he's probably doing that to have them run down an investigative path that leads them to nowhere. I don't see somebody that is this thought out, has a plan, has a getaway, and you're just all of a sudden going to drop a bottle. But it did jam, which could cause him to be a little bit unsettled. So you could make mistakes at that time. The adrenaline starts kicking in. It's possible, but I don't really believe it. I think it sounds a little bit weird. And getting back to the picture that I put up before and that the police officers have released, the reason why they are releasing it, I found this fascinating, is that the pictures are not good enough to use facial recognition. So they cannot use any of their technology like street cameras or databases or whatever, because the computer system, the technology that they have, they need to see their eyes and their face like dead on in good lighting. And the fact that his face was sideways and they don't have that, they're now depending on what they call crowd surfing. So they're depending on the public because they're saying, yes, a computer can identify him, but somebody who's a family or a friend, at least seeing his nose and his mouth, they'll know. Like if you work with somebody for 10 years, if you went to high school with somebody, you'll know by seeing half of the person's face, like, yeah, I know that is so-and-so. So that is where it is. That now, I understand the whole jamming thing, but the fact that he was able to be in Starbucks, be in a hostel, be in all of these places, even with cameras, and know how to position his face not to be, for his face not to be picked up by facial recognition. I know they're thinking that he's not an expert, but that sounds pretty professional to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. And they say after 24 hours of not catching somebody, the chances of catching them diminish. He could be out of the country by now. For sure, they think, well, not for sure, but they have enough reason to believe that he's probably out of New York by this time. Some people think he's probably still in New York in a location where they will not be able to find him. But that's it right now. I'm sure we're going to keep hearing more about this as it unfolds. Something as large as this, as a health company, the biggest health company in America, I don't think they're going to rest until they find this guy. I'll keep you guys up to date and let you know everything that I hear. Our third lead story. Diddy's mom and son are allegedly into it over who should control his money. Diddy's mom and son are allegedly in a heated battle over who should control his money. Janice Combs thinks that she is the best person to step in, but Diddy's son, King Combs, is determined to be the boss and continue his father's billionaire legacy. Who do y'all think should control the billions? All right, this is a tell sign to me that they don't think Diddy is going to get out. When they start fighting over the money and the houses and who's going to be here and who's going to be there, they think that it's over for him. Now, you guys know that I have some sources in Diddy's camp. I did reach out to them. This is true. I did actually hear about this before it leaked, but I didn't want to say anything. But now that it's start bubbling and it's coming out, I can attest to this. This is true. And like I said, it's the third bail hearing being denied. You guys know I also reported on that we were hearing rumblings that he might get out. There was a couple of lawyers that also said he was going to get out, but I think everybody has completely given up on that in the Diddy camp. For those of you who actually care, they actually are going to do one more bail hearing. I think it might happen after Christmas, if I'm not mistaken, they told me. It's the Second Circuit Court. This was actually arranged before the third one, but because of a new lawyer that they had on the case that had access to this courtroom, they got this third one, but now they're going to go for that last one. But I've talked with a bunch of people, and it's probably just going to be a formality. They don't think it's likely. Like, Diddy is not coming out. That's done. It's a wrap. So now he's not coming out. Who's going to be in control? Who's going to do what? And if you know Diddy's three sons well, King Combs, Christian, he's the one that looks exactly like Diddy. He's the one that has been in, he's been on tracks. I don't know if he's released a full album, but he's definitely released music. He has always been the one that was like, yo, he's going to be the next Diddy. Well, Quincy is not really his real son. That's Albie Shore's son. And the other one, Justin, I think he probably is more kind of like a behind the scenes guy. So we'll see. Of course, there's the mom who's always been right beside Diddy all the time. And she's going to think like, this is my son. I want that stuff. So grandma and grandson are fighting. It is going down. And maybe some things might leak more in the media. We'll see if it actually kind of stays quiet. But yeah, according to the Diddy camp, from what I heard, is they are making moves to just accept the fact that Diddy ain't going to be home for a while. So what happens when you do stupid things? All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Pamela Anderson rocks bare face at 2024 Gotham Awards, says makeup doesn't really make sense to her. Pamela Anderson proves less is more and says makeup doesn't really make sense to her at the 2024 Gotham Awards. I have a little video I'm going to play for you guys. Just take a listen. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Having famously opted against wearing makeup in recent years, how did it feel to put it back on for this film?
I love to wear makeup too sometimes. It's just a time and a place.
All right. I'm not here to drag anybody for how they look. And I actually love when women don't wear makeup. I always say the number one way to judge a woman is to how she looks when she comes out the shower. Your hair is not done, the makeup. And if you find your girl beautiful when she comes out the shower, that's the girl who you should be with. All right. However, I think the thing that's more shocking about this, and for those of you who are not seeing the video, is how much she's aged. And again, I don't want to be an ageist and, we all are going to age. We're all not going to look the same. But I am just shocked of how much she has aged. Like you see, it's just shocking. And it's shocking to see how her hair looks. Her hair looks like it's, somebody that's 80 or 90 years old. Like, and I get the pureness, like Halle Berry is doing the same thing, not wearing makeup, not being so fab or whatever. And she looks great. I think Halle Berry and Pamela Anderson probably are around the same age, but Pam looks like she's like 80. You know what I mean? Sorry, I hate to say it, but it is just shocking. Again, you do not have to wear makeup. You don't always have to be all glammed up, but it is shocking. I used to love Pamela Anderson back in the day, but she has, but shout out to her for the thing that I do also love is I love the fact that how she is just accepting it and just being her and being confident to just accept, who she is. And that's the side that I love it. But like I said, I'm just more shocked of how much she aged and how much older she looks than she really is. It's shocking. Our second quick story. Flavor Flav says that his spirit is broken after NBC's incident at Rockefeller tree lighting. Everybody loves Flavor Flav, man. How could they do this to him? Flavor Flav is speaking out about a disappointing moment at Rockefeller tree lighting. In a now deleted tweet, Flav says, and he shares that he was invited to the event and then he spent time backstage with the Backstreet Boys before security asked him to leave. He says security came up to him and says, NBC does not want you in this area and you need to leave. At the same time, the social media woman came up to him and asked him if he could do some social content. So he was like, yo, why doesn't NBC want me back here? No more. He says all he's ever done is spread joy and love, and he thinks he did that for NBC at the Olympics. Flav later mentioned that the Backstreet Boys spoke up for him, but he said the incident upset him and admitted that he deleted the tweet, but his spirit is still broken. Despite all this, Flavor Flav shared a video of himself at the tree lighting, smiling and appearing in good spirits. So I think everyone's talking about this because everybody just loves Flavor Flav. Like, he is true that he always just spreads love and good spirits. I remember with that girl, I forgot her name now, the Olympic girl, I think it was Jordan, that remember she didn't get her bronze medal, and Flavor Flav gave her a bronze clock, and it's like, yo, forget about the Olympics, I'm gonna give you my bronze clock. Like, Flavor Flav is just such a cool dude, man. But yeah, and like I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne was saying that people may have been like overreacting to this a little bit, and it could just be a security guard that was doing his job saying, hey, I was told that nobody could be back here, and you are not allowed to be back here with the Backstreet Boys. And by the way, Backstreet Boys and Flavor Flav are super cool. He just went back there not to meet them, but they're boys, okay? And everyone, you know, Charlamagne was like, everyone's just blaming NBC. But while I agree with him, and I agree that security guards are doing their job, I think it has to be something a little bit more than that, because if a security guard's job is to make sure that the backstage is cleared, okay, cool. And if Backstreet Boys are there talking with him, it's not like he was there roaming around by himself. He's there with the Backstreet Boys. They're there talking. For the security guard to come up and be like, yo, you got to leave, that has to be a directive from somebody at NBC, because it's NBC's tree lighting. So somebody had to be like, yo, we don't want him here, and leave. So I agree with him being hurt by the situation and putting up this tweet. I know he's taking it down now. Maybe somebody at NBC higher up called and was like, hey, I'm sorry. But apparently, and also too, that the fact that you like work for NBC at the Olympics, like there should be an apology or an explanation or something, because it just doesn't make sense. And I don't feel like it's a security guard just doing his job. Our third quick story. Fans continue to be concerned for Kodak Black as friends film him boasting about being Drake's favorite rapper. Fans are not happy with Kodak Black recording himself while talking about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. All right, so I have decided not to play this video. And what people are really concerned about is the fact that you could see how much under the influence that Kodak Black is. He's walking in a circle around in his house or whatever it is, a condo or whatever. And he's walking around in circles saying, I'm Drake's favorite rapper. He told me he's his favorite rapper. Why are you guys listening to Kendrick Lamar? And like, he's not even coherent. He's not making sense. I think it was like a week or 2 weeks ago, I told you about a report that somebody said, while he was on a live, and they said to him, we like Kodak when he is not under the influence. He goes, what? I'm never not under the influence. Every time I talk about Kodak Black, I keep telling you guys that I blame the people around him who are exploiting him. Kodak has a problem. He needs help. He needs intervention. And he's going to end up not being with us, because he is always under the influence with a various amount of things that he takes. And, you know, it's just not light stuff. It's hard stuff that he dabbles into. And it's just sad to see. I love Kodak. And when somebody is like that, so far gone, you cannot blame that person, because they're not even here 95% of the time. It's the people around him that continue to put him on stage, put him in studios, and do all of this and making millions of dollars off of him and not caring about his well-being. And it's really sad. Our fourth quick story. McDonald's president announced that the snack wrap will be returning in 2025. McDonald's is working on regaining customer trust following a recent incident of an outbreak linked to the Quarter Pounder burger. Plans for the fast food chains were recently announced as a fan favorite is set to make a comeback. In a new interview with Good Morning America, McDonald's president apologized for the situation and reassured that they have stopped using a certain supplier that was sending them raw onions that caused the outbreak. While discussing what was next for the restaurant, the CEO said the snack wrap will be back in 2025. He also mentioned the item's popularity, adding, he said it's a favorite. However, he did not say exactly when it will be hitting the menu. Here is the president. Take a listen.
The snack wrap will be back in 2025. This has a cult following. I get so many emails into my inbox about this product. It will be back in 2025.
A cult following for the snack wrap.
It does.
Listen, I am not a fast food guy at all. I could count on my hands the amount of times I've eaten at McDonald's. But if you type in McDonald's right now, you'll see literally 20 news stories, like CNN, like I'm talking about like political news, say Fox News, New York Post, like this is headlining news. You see news about the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, and literally the next leading story is the McDonald's snack wrap. Is it really that good? Nothing that McDonald's could ever do marketing wise could get me to go into that restaurant. But I did, doing my research, I did pull this up, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good, I won't lie. But it's McDonald's, so it's just like, I'm too much of a healthy person to kind of eat that food, man. Like, it just rubs me the wrong way. I gotta be honest. I will have their sausage egg McMuffin though. Their breakfast, that egg I know is real, and I know that sausage is real. Just the other stuff, like their beef, I know that might not make sense to you guys, but yes, I'll have their breakfast, I'll have their fries, but and their hamburgers just don't do it for me. But y'all let me know in the comment section below if this is actually really good and if I should try it. Let me know. Our fifth quick story. Toronto Tempo announced as Canada's first WNBA team. The NBA has officially announced the name for its newest franchise, Canada's Toronto Tempo. The team name was reportedly chosen after more than 10,000 fans participated in a public engagement program. During the press conference earlier today, Toronto Tempo president shared the inspiration behind the name, saying, "Tempo is pace. Tempo is speed. Tempo is a heartbeat. And it's what you feel when you step into the streets of this city and in the energy of the people who call Canada home." So y'all know I'm a big fan of the WNBA. Shout out to Angel Reese. That's my girl. Fine honorable mention to Caitlin Clark, but I'm an Angel Reese fan. I'm happy to see this come to Toronto. For those of you who are watching around the world, when I tell you that Canada loves their Raptors, it's insane. I used to go to a lot of games. Nike used to take me to a good couple of games a year. I remember when we had the playoffs, when we won the championship, I went to on my own, not with Nike, but I went with, I was like, actually it was my first Trent Out Loud series before the podcast. I used to like go to different things, and I wanted to cover the Eastern Conference Finals. So we went to every single home game, and then it actually went to the finals. So all of that to say, Toronto and Canada love their basketball team. When we won, it was 2.5 million people in the streets, people from Montreal, Vancouver, like that parade was crazy. So I expect that there'll be the same amount of love for the WNBA. We obviously know it's not as big as the NBA, but if I know Canada, and I know especially Toronto, they love their basketball. And now with WNBA really shooting up, you know, when Angel Reese comes, when Caitlin Clark and a couple other of the women in the NBA that are doing big things right now, I think this is really good for Canada. I will say I'm not in love with the name Tempo. I'm not really in love with the logo that much, but it could just be new and I need to kind of get used to it. I like more like animal names, like, you know, Philadelphia Eagles, Chicago Bulls, the Ravens, the Raptors, it's just like the Tempo. It's like, what tempo? It's pace, it's energy. Like you gotta, like the Toronto Raptors, I think is a good name, but we'll see if it grows on me. They are starting May 2025. Shout out to the women at the WNBA. Our sixth quick story. Jamie Foxx opens up about his health scare in the trailer for Netflix stand-up special. He says, if I stay funny, I could stay alive. Jamie Foxx declares in his new Netflix comedy special, what had happened was Jamie Foxx takes to the stage to talk about his 2023 hospitalization and recovery. According to the official trailer description, Foxx sets the record straight with humor and vulnerability. Amidst laughter and applause, Jamie expresses deep gratitude to those who prayed and supported for his recovery, turning this performance into a touching thank you to his fans. Jamie Foxx, What Had Happened Was debuts on Netflix December the 10th. I have a clip, but I have a video. I'm going to play just a little clip so you could just hear him say what had happened was. I'll play it for you right now. Take a listen.
I'm so glad to be here. What had happened was.
All right, y'all know I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan. Shout out to Jamie. Hope that he is well and he's totally gotten over everything that was happening to him. Two things that I'm not so crazy about, and I'll let you know what they are. One, I don't like the whole Diddy marketing campaign. I have talked with you guys about this a couple of times where it's alleged that in this stand-up when he was recording it, he did say something about Diddy and the fact that him and Diddy got into an argument, and Diddy is the reason why he ended up in the hospital. Apparently that's part of the special. And then he says that Diddy was the one, and he was the one who called the feds on Diddy. So you're going to hear this, and that's why everyone wants to hear this special. It's been pretty much proven, and I've actually talked to people, that it's just a joke. And the fact that he jokes about that on stage, and Jamie Foxx is a comedian. For those of you who don't know, Jamie Foxx was a stand-up comedian before music, before movies, before the Oscars, before all that. Jamie's a comedian, and a great comedian, okay? And he's saying that in as a joke, but I even showed you guys a clip a couple of weeks ago where he's at a gas station and somebody, I think from TMZ, comes up and it's like, "Hey Jamie, we heard that you're talking about Diddy and you're blaming him for this," and then he kind of like ignores him and jumps in his car and he says like no comment, and he's just using this as a way to promote the special. And I don't know, it's just giving me a bad taste in my mouth because he knows that it's a joke, and I just don't think that this is the way you should promote the special. It's just my opinion. Second thing I don't love about this is Jamie is getting paid for this, right? This is a Netflix special, but we have never seen anybody talk about something that happened to them and find a way to make money from it. And that's another thing that's kind of just leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Like, I literally, when this happened to Jamie, I literally did like a 20-minute podcast, but at that time I wasn't doing full shows like this. I was just doing like one viral story. And I've partied with Jamie Foxx in Miami. I've hung out with him, and he's such a good dude. And I was so scared that something was going to happen to him. Like I'm telling you, it was like a 20-minute. Like I went over his videos and his movies. I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan, and I was just really scared that he wasn't going to pull through. And I've been waiting to hear his comeback and whatever, blah, blah. But I would have just rather he talked to us about this like on a podcast or in an interview and not make a Netflix special out of it. I don't know how you guys feel. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But Chris Rock did something similar to this when Will Smith Oscar slap, where Chris Rock didn't speak to anybody. And he's like, you know what? I'll address this in a comedy special. And he addressed it in a comedy special. Comedy special wasn't that great because it was a comedy special. He'd had a bunch of other jokes. And then the last 15 minutes, he talked about Will Smith. Like, that part was good, but the rest of it just wasn't great. And my favorite comedian in the world is Chris Rock. So I could say that it wasn't good because I've seen every single one of Chris Rock's stand-up specials. But I understood that though, because that was just an incident. So he's like, let me address it in a place where I can make money. Jamie Foxx, this is a health scare, and all of your fans came together with prayers and heartfelt, and I hope he's all right, and I hope he's doing good. And for like 3 or 4 weeks, his family didn't say anything to us. We didn't know anything, and it's not our business. I'm not saying they have to let us know. Just leaving a bad taste in my mouth that we're only going to find out about it now through a comedy special, and then you mix it in with it's Diddy's fault and with their promotion. I just don't like it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know I'm talking a lot about this, but I'm a big Jamie Foxx fan, and I just don't like that he's doing this to us, the loyal fans that were really afraid and worried for him when he wasn't well. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Let me know. Our 7th quick story. Young Miami makes it clear that she is single following Stefon Diggs dating rumors. So Young Miami tweeted out and she said, "I can't fall in love with no HOE." And then she said she is young, rich, outside, and single. That's it. So the announcement came after months of rumors surrounding her dating Stefon Diggs. All right, y'all know I'm a big Young Miami fan. Love Young Miami. Young Miami, I don't believe you for 1 second. I believe that you and Stefon were dating, and this seems to me like y'all just had an argument. Like, Young Miami is a little wild out here. She could be a little quick to, run to Twitter and talk. And there has been multiple people, multiple sources that she was at his game. She was wearing a pendant with his jersey number. She was at his birthday party. But the fact that she's saying that I can't fall in love with no HOE, that's just telling me that she maybe caught him with another girl or caught him like talking to another girl, and she's just not happy about that. I don't believe that for 1 second. She ain't single. She's still in love with Stefan. I don't believe it, young mammy. Sorry. Our 8th quick story. Coco Gauff is now the highest paid female athlete in the world. Shout out to Coco. Coco has made history as the world's highest earning female athlete, earning more than $30 million this year. Represented by Roger Federer's agency, Gauff becomes only the 3rd woman ever to reach this milestone, following Naomi Osaka and Serena Williams. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark also made a splash, breaking into the top 10 with an impressive $11 million in earning endorsements. So shout out to Coco. I love Coco. Y'all know that Serena Williams is my favorite. One of my favorite athletes ever, actually, but definitely my favorite female athlete. Super happy that Coco is following in her footsteps. Naomi Osaka, I think, won 4 majors, but now after she's had her kid, she hasn't really been back like how she used to. But it looks like Coco, I don't know if she'll win 23 like Serena, but she's definitely here to stay. I'm happy that she is, in these rankings and she is reaching these levels. I just got to see her, and I would love to see her win more majors. Our 9th quick story. Diddy's Christmas behind bars will consist of spades, domino tournaments, basketball games, and a holiday meal. All right, for y'all Diddy haters out there, I know you're going to love to hear this. Diddy will have plenty to do in jail on Christmas Day. Diddy will have a unique Christmas while being held at MDC Brooklyn while he awaits his trial. Inmates will enjoy a variety of holiday activities, including spades and domino tournaments and 3-on-3 basketball and a soccer competition. After working up an appetite, Diddy and others will indulge in a festive meal featuring baked Cornish hen, macaroni and cheese, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and a holiday dessert. And this is according to TMZ News. One of the things that I was thinking about is like, I know it's Christmas, but if you are in jail and you are guilty, should jail set up Christmas for you like that? I don't know. Just something to think about. Like, should it be like, oh, well, it's Christmas, I'm going to do these things for you guys. But I mean, we're still humans too, right? Like, so let me know what you guys think. Should Diddy and other people in there, should they have a Christmas celebration? Should they do something special for them on Christmas Day? I'll throw this back at you guys. What do you think? Our 10th quick story. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant sounds off on NeYo's polyamorous lifestyle. Dr. Cheyenne Bryant isn't letting up when asked how she feels about NeYo, who has been candid about having multiple partners. She didn't hold back her thoughts. All right, shout out to Cheyenne. I met Cheyenne a couple of months ago when her and I shared the stage with for Charlemagne and Dr. Alfie's Mental Wealth Alliance. Shout out to Cheyenne. I know she watches the podcast, so shout out to her. I love her. She's going on tour. She's going to be in Toronto, and I'm actually trying to bring her here to Montreal too. So shout out to Cheyenne. Let me just play the clip, and then I'll let you know what I think after this. All right, take a listen.
What is NeYo to you, Dr. B?
He's a womanizer. He cheated on his wife, and that's why she left him. He didn't cheat once. He cheated over and over again. And now what he's doing is he's gaslighting himself and that wife to make it seem like he wants polyamorous when you never wanted polyamorous from the beginning. You wanted to be married but didn't have the discipline to do it, and your wife left you because she didn't tolerate that. You don't have the discipline. You don't have the tools to do it. So now you want to make sure you put out into the world, look at me. I want to be polyamorous because I cheated. No, you failed in your marriage.
Yo, I keep telling dudes this all the time, right? There's this whole polyamorous thing. I actually have a chapter about it in my book, all right? But polyamory is about honesty. I'm not going to get into that section of it right now, but there is a vast difference of cheating on somebody, lying to somebody, and a polyamorous relationship. It's very, very different. So I totally agree with her. And people think that it's the same, but it's vastly different. It all is about being honest and being transparent to people. And I just don't understand when men are going to realize that. They think, yo, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah. Yeah, I live a polyamorous lifestyle. No, you don't. Just because you have a couple of girls and they don't know about each other, you cannot say you're living a polyamorous lifestyle. Like, it just doesn't work that way. And I'm not a polyamorous person. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that this new trend of polyamory, guys are trying to use that. This is what Cheyenne is basically saying. She's saying it way better than me. She's a doctor, but it's like, stop trying to use that because it's the new cool term. You have to be honest with everybody up front. You can't be with your wife, lie and cheat on her, and and try to use polyamory after. Like, it just doesn't even make sense, right? So anyways, point is that I agree with her. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 11th quick story. WAC 100 questions bodyguard who claims Busta Rhymes likes men. This is ridiculous. Seriously. Let's just jump to the video. All right. Take a listen.
You telling me right now my brother Busta Rhymes is gay? I want you to tell me that, and we're going to deal with this, bro. Deal with it how? What's your number? Hey, listen, I'm asking you a question.
This is the same thing I told you guys last week and the week before. Orlando Bloom, Bow Wow and me had relations. Then him and Nick Cannon had relations. Anytime somebody has a problem with a man, especially a black man in Hollywood, he likes men. That's the way to quote unquote ruin them. It's 2024, people. Maybe that worked in the 90s or in the 2000s, but it's 2024. Nobody cares about who likes who nowadays. So it's just ridiculous. So I like that WAC 100 is literally being like, yo, like, what are you saying? And are you saying this? Where is the proof or whatever? I don't normally agree with a lot of the things that WAC 100 says, but I don't believe this. The flip side, because y'all know I always got to tell both sides, Busta and Diddy have been best friends for the past 25 years. And y'all know the things that we've been hearing about Diddy. Busta and Diddy being homies, who knows? Maybe they have the same interest and it might be possible. All I'm just saying is that I'm not going to take a disgruntled bodyguard saying it for the fact I'll lean more towards the Diddy situation and you and Diddy being that tight. I don't know. I'm just saying. But Busta's my guy, fellow Jamaican. Shout out to Busta. Don't get mad at me for this. All I'm just saying is that you and Diddy been pretty close for a long time. That's all I'm saying. All right. This brings us to question of the day. All right. I love this question of the day. How important is compatibility when it comes to love languages in a relationship? All right, just to remind y'all, I'll tell you guys all the 5 classic love languages, all right? Physical touch, acts of service, quality time, words of affirmation, and receiving gifts. Now I'll read you the question again. How important is compatibility when it comes to love languages in a relationship? I'll tell you quickly. I'll try to be quick. Y'all know I could be long-winded sometimes. I don't think compatibility with love languages is important because love languages is literally just a description of how somebody likes to receive love or give love, right? Depending on how you want to look at it. But you don't need to be compatible. Just because I like acts of service doesn't mean that you have to like acts of service. Or if I like acts of gifts or gift receiving doesn't mean that you have to like it. The great thing about the great thing about love languages is to tell somebody what love service you like or what love language you like, so the other person knows how to give that to you. That's the whole thing about these love languages. So the furthest thing you guys need to be is compatible. I would think the worst thing would be compatible into that. Having said that, what a lot of people don't realize, the things that you do need compatibility in is things that revolve around your every day-to-day life. Let me get a little deeper into that. If you notice your best friends or your closest friends, you all have things in common. You might like to go out for dinner a lot. You might like the same sport. You might like watching the same sport. You have to have commonalities. And I feel like a lot of relationships don't focus on that. And they only just focus on maybe like the sexual attraction, right? Where it's like, oh, I find this girl hot. Yeah, that's my girl. But you guys have nothing in common. One likes to spend money. One likes to save money. Like one likes to go out. One hates going out. Like you need to have your friendships and relationships where you guys, you don't have to be exact, but You should try to like the same music, kind of like the same things, and that will have a basis for a friendship. And out of that great friendship will become a relationship and a marriage and a family, where a lot of, especially men, women are way better at this. Men do not think about, the things I have in common with her. When I'm looking for a girl, of somebody who I want to like be in a serious relationship with, that's the first thing I look for is like, what do me and this person have in common? And if we can have 60, 70% of the things in common, I know it's going to be a good relationship, because when things fail, you'll still have those common things to be able to do together that will let you forget about the stupid argument that you guys had. Trust me when I tell you. All right. All right. I don't have much time. Let me read some people's answers. Some people said it's more important to learn about what makes your partner happy and do that. Well, of course, that's what love languages are. Let me see some good answers here. Some people said if two people aren't willing to learn and learning to care and stay consistent. Okay, no. Somebody said hugely important. Totally disagree. Somebody says I'm single and lonely. Don't ask me. Somebody else said I learned the hard way that it's important and has to be reciprocated. I think a lot of people are not understanding the question here. Another person said, if her spirit doesn't match mine, then I can't match her. No, I think people are not understanding the question. It's the compatibility in love languages, not are you guys compatible? And also just to answer what my love language is quality time, because the thing that I like most is being able to be around somebody and not feel like I don't want them with me. And I like to communicate. I'm a talker. So I have a podcast that I can literally talk to you guys daily on my own without having anybody else here. I love communicating. I love talking. To me, that is my thing. So it's not just quality time, but being able to speak to somebody. That's the turn on for me. That's where things get started. If we can't have great communication, then it's boring. But yeah, let me know what your love languages are below, and let me know if you agree with this, and be careful with your answer. Do you have to find somebody that has the same love language as you? Trust me, nobody should say yes, but let me know what you guys think. Or send me emails, trendoutloud@cfqr600.com. All right, this brings us to sports news. JJ Redick said, I'm embarrassed. We're all embarrassed. I own this, but we're going to need some ownership on the court as well. JJ Redick said this after the Lakers lost by 41 points to the Miami Heat. Y'all know any bad news I can give you about LeBron James, I will. Anyways, I just play, man. I love LeBron James off the court. That's my guy. But I am a Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan fan, and anything we could do to ruin LeBron's basketball legacy, I can't. I don't need him inching closer to Jordan. So I love that they're having a horrible year. I never liked JJ Redick coming to this team, and I don't like the supporting cast that they have around Anthony Davis and LeBron. They might not even make the playoffs, and it's really sad. Playing with your son, playing till you're 20, playing 20 years, 21 years, like that's the thing about Jordan that made Jordan and Kobe different. They cared about one thing, and that's winning the chip. That's it. Nothing else mattered. And again, that's what makes LeBron so great off the court. That's what makes him such a great husband and such a great father and such a great leader in our community, and why I love him. On the court, because Jordan and Kobe both had problems in their marriage, 100%. That's why I love LeBron off. On the court, bro, you should just care about winning, and that's it. Anyways, that is my Friday show. Thank you so much for kicking with me all week. Of course, we talked to you guys about yesterday about Spotify's wrap up. We are in 44 countries. We are the top 10 video podcast. Sorry, we're in the top 10 for video podcasts on Spotify. So thank you so much. That was so great to hear this week. Views are up. Everything is up. So thank y'all. That is all credit to y'all, man. Being in the top 10 on Spotify video is crazy, and being in 44 countries is crazy. So I'm preparing to have a very good weekend. Let me tell you guys of all the ways to keep up with the show before I let you go. For those of you who are watching on YouTube or listening on podcast platforms, please try to check me out Monday through Friday on CFQR600.com. We do play the Trend Out Loud podcast, but we mix it in with 90s and 2000s hip hop and R&B. It's a great hour. It's a great way to get your entertainment and viral news while listening to your favorite hits from the 90s and 2000s. And you can listen from anywhere in the world. CFQR600.com. It's a website. Your computer, your laptop, your phone. You can catch it anywhere in the world. All right. Now, for those of you who are used to watching the Trend Out Loud podcast on CFQR 600 and you can't always catch the show between 11 to 12, we get it. You got Zoom meetings, you got kids, you got things to do. We got you. Let me tell you of all the ways to keep up with the show. I'll give you 3 ways. One, on CFQR 600's website, when you click Listen Live, there is another tab that says Listen on Demand. You click that, you'll see the Trend Out Loud podcast. You click that, you'll get access to all 392 episodes. Listen as your heart desires. And it's the weekend, so you have time. There's also YouTube that you can watch us on. You already know that. And also any podcast platforms. Just go to your desired site, type in Trend Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. You can follow me on any social platform. It's always the same handle, at Trend Out Loud. Don't forget to follow the media company, EXCLUCITY Media, on Instagram. And lastly, before I go, for my CFQR 600 listeners, do not touch that dial. Dawn Smooth is coming up next with the lunch mix, and Dawn is always dropping the hits. Yo, job is done. My weekend starts right now. I love y'all. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. It's Friday. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace.